There is a motion for issuance of subpoena to the Ombudsman with respect to the salin of the Vice President from 2022 to 2025, 2007 to 2013, 2016 to 2022. The same has been seconded. Is there any objection?
Madam Chair,
Is that an objection,
I
Honorable
object.
Rodriguez?
I object. This
Yeah.
is now a clear fishing expedition
Nako.
against the Vice President. Thank you.
Considering that the motion has been objected to, we shall proceed to divide the House.
Oh, divide nyo na yung house. At least maliwanag na ho ngayon dito kay Congressman Rufus Rodriguez na talagang walang ebidensya. Itong si Terry Redon, Leila de Lima, laban dito kay VP Sara. Kaya ang mangyayari dyan sa hearing na yan sa Committee on Justice, fishing expedition. Paglikom ng ebidensya para pagka napunta na sa Senado, yung impeachment na yan, meron silang ipresenta. Pero bago yan, isang like at subscribe. Masaya na utayan at sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community, yung join button, nandyan lang ho sa baba. Ayun na nga, hindi ho magkasundo ang mga miyembro ng Justice Committee dahil hindi nga naman ho sila sinipot nitong si VP Sara. Ngayon sila ay nag-aaway at hindi na ho nila alam kung paano nila isasagawa ang panggigiba dito kay VP Sara. Wala na ho tayong maraming pag-uusapan dito sa video na to. Rerekta ho tayo sa mga punto de vista nitong si Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. I object! Naku, matindi ho yan mga kababayan. Napakadalang dyan sa Committee on Justice na makarinig tayo na merong nag-o-object. Kung di tayo mag-o-object, wala hong mag-o-object dyan mga kababayan. This is now a clear fishing expedition against Vice President Sara Duterte. Yan ho ang statement nitong si Congressman Rufus Rodriguez kaugnay nga dyan sa pagpapasumpina ng kung ano-ano laban dito kay VP Sara. Ito, tanging si Cagayan de Oro 2nd District Rep Rufus Rodriguez ang kumontra sa pagpapasumpina sa Ombudsman record ng Statement of Asset Liability and Network SALN ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Inaprubahan ng Committee on Justice ang pagpapadala ng subpoena dus istecum sa Office of the Ombudsman para makakuha ng kopya ng SALN ni VP Sara mula 2027, 2013, 2016, 2020, 2022 hanggang 2025. Nauna na rin inaprubahan ng komite ang pagpapasumpina sa NBI records sa isinagawa nitong investigasyon sa pagbabanta ni VP Sara sa buhay ni na Pres Bongbong Marcos, First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos at dating Speaker Martin Romualdez. Ano ang natawa? Mga praning hutong mga to. Masyado sila mga kabado 20. Ayan ang problema ho natin dito mga kababayan. Ang sabi sa rules, ang pwede lang ipagsumpina yung mga dokumento, naku, mayayari na naman kayo niyan sa sa Korte Suprema. Ang usapan dito, para dito kay Terry Redon, ang usapan natin, pwede lang pakialaman ng mga dokumento mula noong panahon na impeachable government official itong si Vice President Sara Duterte. Hindi kasama noong mga mayor siya. Hindi naman siya tinatago kasi mahilig kayo sa rules dyan eh. Ngayon, ang nangyayari dito, binibend na naman natin ang rules. Para saan? Para sa bentahe ng mga gustong ma-impeach si VP Sara. Ito, rektanaw tayo sa bakbakan dyan sa House of Representatives. Game!
George.
Yes, Madam Chair. Just a brief reaction to the manifestation of the Honorable Representative Puno. Just to be very clear, what will be transmitted to the Senate is not the committee report. What is to be transmitted to the Senate is the articles of impeachment already. The committee report from this committee will be transmitted to the NBank for consideration of the recommendation, for the consideration and approval of the recommendation of this committee, whether probable cause exists or not. So let's just be very clear about it. And Madam Chair, I noticed that the ground rules, the guidelines distributed to us does not yet reflect the amendment. So if we can have, please,
The
copy
committee
reflecting-
secretary is directed to reflect or include the amendment that was approved already in the approved ground rules.
Thank you.
Ayaw nyo pa ba tapusin yung kalokohan na yan? Itong si Luistro, stress na oh. Pambira, oo. Problema dyan eh.
Are you finished with your manifestation, Honorable De Lima?
Madam Chair, another point. Can we have a confirmation from the committee secretariat that indeed respondent Sara Duterte and her counsels were duly notified of today's proceedings? Second, if so, is there any communication or anything, a pleading, a communication filed or submitted to the committee secretariat saying categorically that they are not appearing in today's hearing or in today's proceedings? And another question is there also any communication or any submission made from their camp explaining the absence of Respondent Sara Duterte? Because aside from the letter put on record by the Honorable Terry Ridon about questioning the proceedings under the erroneous premise that what is being conducted here is trial on the merits, there has been statements, pahayag, from Sara Duterte.
Oh.
I think this was circulated already to media. Let me just point out one important statement here. It's a pahayag from the Vice President of the Philippines, Sara Duterte, dated today, March 25. The second to the last paragraph says, "Naisumit ko na ang aking answer ad cautelam. Sa ngayon, wala nang dapat pang gawin ng komite, kundi ibasura ang mga reklamo dahil sa malinaw na kakulangan ng ebidensya."
Yeah.
Is this an indication clear enough that she is waiving her right to participate in our proceedings? So I just wish to have that confirmation of the committee secretariat as to whether there's been any formal communication saying that they will not, whether she or by her counsel, will not participate in the proceedings before this committee henceforth.
The committee secretariat is directed to report to the committee the fact of having sent the notice of today's hearing to the respondent, and whether there is a communication or a document filed in relation to that invitation, as well as the same letter which was earlier manifested by the Honorable Ridon. And if there are any other documents received from the respondent, the committee secretariat is likewise directed to report to the committee. Let's begin with the notice sent to the respondent. Comsec, please.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. The invitation for Vice President Sara Duterte to attend today's initial hearing was sent by electronic mail on March 19, 2026 at 10:25 a.m. It was acknowledged by, it was received March 19, 2026, 12:34, and acknowledged by the Central Records Unit of the Office of the Vice President. The invitation for Narvasa and Salazar, counsel for Vice President Sara Duterte, to attend today's meeting was emailed on March 19, 2026, 10:21 a.m., received March 19, 2026, 1:45 p.m., acknowledged by Narvasa Salazar. As far as any communication from the Office of the Vice President manifesting that she will not attend today's initial hearing, the only communication we received with respect to that is the letter from her counsel, Narvasa and Salazar. That's all, Your Honor.
Any comment from the Honorable De Lima?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's very unfortunate that the respondent herself is disrespecting the proceedings before this committee. At the very least, she should have manifested formally that she will not be appearing before this committee, and rather than just issuing statements before the media. Because that letter submitted by her counsel, the Fortune Law Offices, the law office, is not yet very clear there. Are they appearing or not? Show respect. They cannot just assume that this is going to be a trial, because it's already clarified that it is not full-blown trial. This is not trial on the merits, but simply akin to preliminary investigation. With, of course, right to counsel, right to appear, right to assist the clients, and right to submit clarificatory questions to the Honorable Chair. So this is disrespect another manifestation of her affront the constitutional process. I remember what the Honorable Chair cited earlier in her opening remarks. There's this quote from former Supreme Court Justice, I think it's Noel Tiham, not Antonio Tiham, as stated earlier, about the fact that failure to appear, failure to participate in the impeachment proceedings, it's itself a betrayal of public trust, because this is a formal constitutional process that everyone is expected to respect, especially the parties like the respondents. So it is very unfortunate that we have this mindset again, this attitude on the part of the respondent, showing disrespect and affront to the constitutional process of impeachment.
Constitutional process. Eh, yung pagtanggap ng maleta, pagtanggap ng envelope, kasama ba yun sa constitutional process? Yan ang problema. Pagka yung mga ipokritong politiko, bumabanat ng ganyan, tapos sila ay napaparatangan na tumanggap di umano ng maleta. Ipinasok ng mga Marines, paglabas niya daw, dala-dala na niya. Constitutional process. Palakpakan. Yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, the Honorable Rog Gutierrez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I believe the Honorable De Lima has made some good points, and we were actually moving on with the discussion. But I just wanted to go back po, just a short manifestation on dun sa issue ng mini trial, because this representation agrees with our colleagues here today that I think we should.
Long time! Gulat ako. Akala ko sinong... Hindi. Wala sa focus si PH update. Saan ka na pagaling? Brad, pakalbo ka na rin. Saan pagaling? Ang tagal ka namin hinahanap-hanap, Brad. Anong nangyari sa'yo? Langya ka, ha? Papakita ka rin pala. Kumusta yung mga natin, yung mga business natin? Kumusta yung business ni Daddy? Kumusta yung pangungontrata di umano ni Daddy? Kumusta? Oh.
should confront, I think was the term used, this framing of what is going on here today. Kasi, Madam Chair, we take exception to this because I think it does not have any legal effect,
Yeah.
the way that it was called a mini trial. If ever, even it was mentioned in passing, I would assume. It was never in any official memo. But it shouldn't have any legal effect. No amount of nomenclature can change the proceedings that we're
Nomenclature. Ang sagutin mo, Brad, contractor nga ba si Papang? Yun ang sagutin mo. Noon bang nakapasok ka dyan sa House of Representatives, nagbomba yung pangungontrata ni Papang? Yun ang sagutin mo.
having here. And actually, I believe, Madam Chair, what should be controlling is the letter that actually this committee has submitted to the party of the respondent. And I believe we have here, it is reflected in the letter, March 19, 2026, letter invitation to the Vice President at the March 25, 2026 committee hearing intends to discuss the Sabalia and Cabrera impeachment complaints, as well as administrative matters. This includes the setting of ground rules, acting on request for subpoena, scheduling hearing dates, identifying witnesses to be invited for the next hearing, to ensure efficient and orderly proceedings. These, Madam Chair, are matters germane precisely to the functions of the House as that body in which the impeachment proceedings are to be initiated. This is not in any way close to a trial, even if we call it a trial. Tanggalin na po natin yung mini doon. Sabihin natin we called it a trial. What we're having here today is very far from that. As mentioned, I think it was Justice Carpio who once mentioned in a concurring opinion that, and it has been thrown around here a lot, no? It is akin to a preliminary investigation. And very clear, if we are even to compare to that under Rule 112, Section 3, Paragraph E, they have their actually clarificatory hearings. So no matter any which way that we call this proceeding, very clear po na this hearing that we're having, if it's going to be considered akin to that, is nowhere near an actual trial by any judicial body. So I think, Madam Chair, we really have to dispel that framing. This is a mini trial or a trial. It's very far from the truth of what is going on here, and I think si Deputy Speaker Puno made some very fine points na what the goal of the hearing that we're having here is very different. In fact, what will be presented here will be different from what will be presented in a trial, should it proceed to that. So, Madam Chair, I just want to, again, manifest, make it clear, I join our colleagues in debunking this mini trial categorization. And in fact, what we're doing here is constitutionally mandated. I believe it was mentioned very clearly. There is the provision that it is only after hearing, and a majority vote of all its members that committee shall submit its report to the House within 60 session days from such referral. This is about the constitutional provision on impeachment, po, Madam Chair. So very clear, we're all moving, this procedure is moving within the pace as provided by Constitution, as you know, clarified by the Supreme Court in this most recent ruling. So again, Madam Chair, I join our colleagues. Thank you.
Daming na kami sa iyo, Brad. Kala namin meron na nangyaring masama sa iyo. Kala namin nagurgur ka na eh. Buhay ka pa pala. O yan o, si Rog Gutierrez. Isa sa mga kakilala ng 18 Marine. Rog Gutierrez. Huwag niyong kalimutan, ha?
If there are no other manifestations on the letter sent by the councils of the respondent, we shall proceed to the next matter.
Mr. Chairman,
The Honorable Vice Chair Dumogan and then the Honorable Rodriguez, Rufus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What is important to me is notice had been sent to respondent in her counsel. And there is conclusive proof of receipt. Hence, this committee has complied with the element of due process. Unfortunate, that has already been said, she does not recognize the proceedings in this committee. The most important, you were duly notified of today's proceedings, but did not appear. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Rufus Rodriguez.
Madam Chair, if I was so disappointed by the answer, consolidated answer ad Colteram, I am really totally dismayed by this letter sent by the lawyers. We have here 6 lawyers who has submitted a letter to the Honorable Chairperson, Jervil Luistro, that we have no jurisdiction to conduct this hearing, which they term as mini trial. Madam Chair, in the first page of the letter, March 24, 2026, it says, the Constitution vests the authority and power to conduct trial solely in the Senate. Clearly, what applies here is the constitutional provision that in the impeachment proceedings, we will have a hearing. It is not a trial. That is very much clear under our Constitution. They are citing here Section 3(8), Article 11 of the Constitution, the state shall have the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. That is right. But we are governed not on the hearing by the Senate, but we are governed by the proceedings on impeaching to find out probable cause. Then, Madam Chair, in this letter, the second page, it says,
Yan na ho ang, ito na yung final hura nila eh. Ito na yung final hura. Ito na yung desperate move kung tawagin, no? Ito na ho yung pagkatapos nito, wala na. Kaya talagang inaayos nila eh. Kasi wala na second chance dito sa isa na to. Pagka hindi pa nila ginalingan, sorry na lang sa kanila. Talagang mananalo si VP Sara. Hindi na ho pinag-uusapan ng 2028 election dito. Ito na lang ho, ika nga, yung kaisa-isa na humain. Naku, itong si Boy. Yung nag-suspend kay hindi kita nakakalimutan, walang nga ka. Abalos ba pinili niyan? Abalos. Brad, markado ka namin, huwag ka mag-alala, ha? Ito na ho, kahuli-hulihang balakid. Actually, di balakid to kasi wala namang ebidensya. Kumbaga, paninira. Ito na yung pinaka-kahuli-hulihang paninira kay VP Sara. Pag hindi pa nila nasalansan na maayos to, wala na, tapos na, finish na, ika nga. Di ba? Wala na, tapos na ang usapan. Presidente si VP Sara sa 2028 election.
the same, Article 3 to 11, the same does not give the committee any power or jurisdiction. Can you imagine that? How can they be able
Can you
to support
imagine
this allegation that we have the committee has no power or jurisdiction to conduct any form of trial? Meaner full-blown because precisely we are not having a trial here on the merits,
Nako.
but only, Madam Chair, on a hearing to determine probable cause. And then, It also says that it is basic that all rules must not contravene. We are not. The committee is not contravening the Constitution nor our rules or any law for that matter. And then finally it says, Madam Chair, that on the ground they're saying that we have no authority and jurisdiction on the ground that the committee and or the HOR as well as any of its members lack jurisdiction to conduct any form of trial or exercise of its incidents. Any law student would know that precisely our committee has the power to hear on finding probable cause by the two complaints where we found sufficiency in form, substance, and grounds. Therefore, I move that we issue an order traversing these particular erroneous allegations in this letter.
Yan.
Erroneous because they are the ones contravening the Constitution. The lawyers of the Vice President are the ones contravening our rules of impeachment. But then, in that letter, we invite them again to appear in the next hearing because we are always mindful of giving due process. So move, Mr. Chairman. Let us answer this by this committee.
Second.
We should answer that these are all erroneous and is not in compliance, is against the Constitution
Yeah.
itself, which
Yeah.
they are citing. And then be giving them due process. I am disappointed, Madam Chair. This is the chance of the Vice President. In their answer, they did not put forth. I thought it was a strategy that in the hearing, they'll be able to appear. Although, Madam Chair, I don't agree that we should have the Vice President appear here, but counsel should appear and be able to traverse all the 6 grounds of the 3rd complaint and the 5 grounds of the 5th complaint. So I move that we issue an order traversing this, saying that these are all erroneous and that they, in spite of their erroneous interpretation of the Constitution, they are invited to the next hearing if they so mind, because it's clear, our grounds are clear, the lawyers are
May
able
we
to-
be clarified on
Yes.
the purpose of your motion of inviting the lawyers in relation to the letter that they sent to us?
Also that, and probably, but no, Madam Chair, very clearly, the letter has no basis in law, on the Constitution, on our rules. We don't have to let them here to explain. I'm saying that we should be able to tell the lawyers that this is really a scrap of paper that they have submitted to this honorable committee. It's an insult to the committee if this is what they want. And so therefore, we have an order from the committee for them to tell them that they are wrong and that they are invited in the next hearing so that we continue to try to give due process to the Vice President, which we wanted precisely to have her side on these grounds. Thank you.
Your motion, Honorable Rodriguez, is to invite the lawyers to answer to the committee about the erroneous impression that they're giving about the proceeding of the Justice Committee. Is that your motion?
No, not anymore. They have already stated this. What I'm saying is that we have an order denying this manifestation and putting our reasons why their letter dated March 24 has no basis in the Constitution, the rules, and the law. And then at the same time, invite them to attend the next hearing so that if they're minded,
We are
Present.
inviting the
Yeah.
parties and the councils every time we have a hearing.
Chair. But in this case, they are saying that they do not recognize our jurisdiction. And so we're telling them that please come and recognize it because your premises here is totally unfounded and baseless. Thank you.
Right, so there is a motion to issue an order
Madam Chair.
or an answer to the letter belying all the erroneous allegations contained in the letter of Fortuna Narvasa. Do I hear a second?
Madam Chair, amendment.
It is not, we do not answer. We order. So it will not be, the committee will not answering anybody.
Yeah.
It will be an order because we have the jurisdiction to order by stating that they have no basis and they are invited to appear. Thank you,
Madam
but
Chair.
it depends.
There is a motion to issue an order to the councils of the respondent to attend in our subsequent hearings because all their allegations are erroneous. I am
amendment to
pertaining to the
motion.
letter sent by Fortuna Narvasa.
Amendment to the motion, Madam Chair.
The Honorable DS Puno is recognized.
Yes, may I recommend that in the amendment that we state that this matter was discussed at this hearing and found to be defective and erroneous. So I think that those statements of Representative Rodriguez should be included in the order, and then the invitation. But I think we should make it clear that it was discussed, just so that it's not made to seem later on that it was dismissed without due deliberation here.
Madam Chair, may I?
Is
just,
this in relation
yeah,
also to
yeah.
the motion? The Honorable Zia Alonso Adjong.
Before we act on the motion, Madam Chair, just for the public consumption, because our kababayans are watching us right now, the order as proposed by Congressman Rufus Rodriguez should not be taken as something for this committee to treat the lawyers with an equal footing. Because the legitimacy of this process does not rely on the acceptance or recognition of these lawyers, or anyone for that matter. We are exercising our constitutional duty to proceed with the investigation, with the hearing as we are conducting right now. Para po sa kaalaman ng karamihan, yung sinasabi po ni Congressman Rufus Rodriguez is not really in response to put them in the equal footing as though the lawyers and this committee is exchanging ideas or opinions. Because number one, hindi po nakasalalay ang integridad, ang proseso at legitimacy ng hearing na ito sa acknowledgement, recognition ng sino man. Or
Hindi, ang ano dyan, yung maleta at saka envelope. Yun talaga ang mag-ano dyan sa legitimacy ng ginagawa nyo na yan. Envelope at saka maleta, di ba?
Ninumang parte, Madam Speaker.
Madam Chair, the letter was submitted
The Honorable DS Puno.
to the chairperson as chairman
It
of
is addressed to the
addressed to the
chairperson, DS
chairperson
Puno.
as chairperson of the committee.
That's correct.
So I think at the very least we should manifest that this has been brought out to the members. It has been read by Representative Ridon, and it has been commented upon by Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. That does not make them and give them equal status with us. It merely tells them that we are fair, and we have taken this into consideration and actually found their manifestations and their letter to be defective in substance, no, and in what
Madam
they
Chair.
allege.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Jokno.
Yes, I have some serious reservations about using the term order because it could be twisted and made to appear that we are acting like a court. I would agree that we should respond to the letter since it was addressed to the chair. Perhaps the chair could synthesize all of the discussions made today. And if I may add on that point, we are exercising a constitutional duty today and in succeeding hearings to conduct a hearing. And we have gone through all of the form and substance. We have already made the finding that there's sufficient ground to proceed with the impeachment proceedings. So what else do we have to do except to look at the evidence? Yan po yung tungkulin natin. And it must be clear to the public and to the lawyers of
Hindi ba maleta? Akala ko yung maleta yung tungkulin nyo. Akala ko maleta, sorry.
the Vice President that is what we are doing today. Thank you.
So the suggestion of the Honorable Jokno is instead of an order of the committee, that the chairperson answer the letter of Fortuna Narvasa. Let's hear the comment of the proponent, the Honorable Rodriguez.
Madam Chair, the issue has been brought to the committee. It's not anymore the letter is addressed to you, but precisely the issue has been discussed by the committee proper. And so it therefore should be an order, not a singular letter from the chairman, so that it is clear that that is the position of the committee, that we are ordering that they appear and that we are saying in that order that all their allegations, all their statements here are erroneous, have no basis in the Constitution, in law, and in fact. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other comment from the Honorable Jokno? Are you now amenable to the original motion of the Honorable Rodriguez?
I'm very concerned, Madam Chair, with the use of the word order because I anticipate that the councils, based on what I read in this letter, it would appear that they are looking for reasons to question the committee before the courts. And if we use that term, they can use it against us and say, see, earlier you mentioned mini trial, now you are ordering us. And that will, then they can use that as a ground for questioning the committee. In fact, Madam Chair, they are entitled to their own opinion about what we are doing today. If they believe that we don't have jurisdiction, that's up to them. But I believe that we must just do our duty, fulfill what the Constitution commands, and hayaan na natin sila kung yan ang gusto nilang opinion. It's very clear from our discussion that we are not doing what they claim we are doing, that we are not going outside the jurisdiction, but rather following what the Constitution provides.
Final point, Madam Chair.
To resolve the disparity between the motion of the Honorable Rodriguez and the suggestion of the Honorable Jokno, may we just release a letter in response to the letter of Fortuna Basa from the Justice Committee and not from the chairperson of the Justice Committee, if that would be acceptable to these two gentlemen?
First of all, just 2 points. First point, even in preliminary investigations, the prosecution orders clarificatory questions. Order does not mean that it will only come from the court or from the trial, the Senate, for example. Order is because we have jurisdiction. There's an order issued in preliminary investigation under the rules on criminal procedure that precisely order for there to appear to answer clarificatory questions by the prosecution. And so that fear of an order not being, it will cause some, comments from the other party. It's not to me, it's not very, at this point, it's not something that we cannot do. We have to therefore emphasize that the Committee on Justice is hearing. We are not having trials, but we are hearing for probable cause. And because they have sent this letter, which we find to be that they are not going to appear anymore because of no jurisdiction, an order requiring them to appear by stating also that their basis for not appearing, not recognizing the jurisdiction of this court has no basis in the Constitution, in law, and in fact. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I understand that the argument of Honorable Jokno is predicated from the fact that we're being framed to be conducting a trial, when in fact this is just a clarificatory hearing. So for purposes of caution, no? In order not to give them any opportunity to place us in a wrong impression of not following the Constitution and the rules, I don't see anything wrong about answering instead of issuing an order, if that will be acceptable to the Honorable Rodriguez.
Madam Chair.
The Committee on Justice can respond to the letter in its capacity as the committee and not me as the chairperson.
Madam Chair, I always agree with the chair. Thank you.
Madam Chair. Madam
Same
Chair.
manifestation, Madam Chair. We agree.
Madam Chair. Madam
The Honorable Pino.
Well, sumasang-ayon po ako sa naging resolusyon dun sa...
And that is the letter of the Justice Committee.
Oo, particular dun sa hindi
Responding
nagagamitin ng...
point by point the erroneous allegations in the letter of Fortuna Basa.
Opo, na hindi nagagamitin yung salitang order, magpapadala ng sulat. Pero malinaw din po sa rules para lang i-put also on the record that the committee, according to the rules of procedure, that the committee shall have the power to issue compulsory processes for the attendance of witnesses and the...
Since the due process has been mentioned several times in today's hearing, I have something to say about it.
Is it
Due
about the
process.
letter?
Somehow somewhat related to the letter, but not confined to the letter. Let's not be confined to the letter. We're talking about due process, Madam.
All right, you're
If I may be
recognized.
allowed, just
For
two
the
points.
guidance of the members, our colleague is a non-member. Nonetheless, he is allowed to manifest. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam. I respectfully rise for a brief manifestation. For the record, Madam Chair, during the last hearing, I was advised by the Honorable Chair to peruse the rules because I raised the terminology sufficiency in grounds, which was mentioned, I think, 16 times by the Honorable Chair. And I have gone over the rules very diligently, and the rule provides that the committee shall determine whether the complaint alleges sufficient grounds for impeachment. Nowhere in the rules you can find sufficiency in ground. Ang aking pong opinion, Madam Chair, pag binago po natin o we alter the terminology, it will reap a different meaning or a different consequence. When we say we're just determining alleged sufficient grounds, we are just testing the allegations. Pag sinabi nating sufficiency in grounds, we seem to be weighing the evidence. So I just implore the wisdom of the Madam Chair to stick to the precise wording as stated in the rules. That's my number one point, ma'am. And
You have other manifestations?
yes, ma'am.
You may proceed.
Number two, Madam, I have questions as to how the process of determining alleged sufficient grounds was achieved during the last hearing. How did we arrive at the determination? Because as far as I can recall, the Honorable Rufus Rodriguez suggested that we deliberate on the grounds, ground by ground. Because the complaints are nothing without the valid grounds from which its own merit should be anchored. So I agree with the view of the Honorable Rodriguez that we should have deliberated the two complaints ground by ground in order to arrive at a more judicious determination. And ang narinig ko lang po during the last hearing are perfunctory recital of allegations by the endorsers. So it would appear that this was just a peremptory declaration of sufficient grounds and nothing more. Yun lang po, ang aking pong pakiwari, we should be not abbreviating due process because the ruling on Duterte versus House of Representatives stated that due process and the constitutional limitations should always be present at every stage of the impeachment process. That's all, Madam Chair.
The committee notes all the manifestation of the Honorable Marcoleta. Now we proceed to our pending motions and or requests before the Justice Committee. The Honorable Joel Chua is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the committee has received a letter dated March 5, 2026 on even date from Honorable Chel Jokno, where he moved that subpoena duces tecum be issued for the following. Number one, duly certified copies of all the records of the NBI's investigation into the threats made by Vice President Sara Duterte against President Ferdinand Bongbong Romualdez Marcos Jr., First Lady Luis Lisa Cacho Araneta Marcos, former Speaker of the House, Ferdinand
Meron natang nakabarang pulburon sa ilong nitong si Joel Chua. Nahihirapan ho siya suminghot eh.
Martin Gomez Romualdez Sr. and certified
Sumisinghot eh, no?
true copies of all documents and photographs gathered in the course of the above-mentioned investigation. And number two, duly certified true copies of the Statement of Assets and Liabilities and Net Worth of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte for the years 2022 to 2025 inclusive, 2007 to 2013 inclusive, and 2016 to 2022 inclusive.
Madam Chair, considering that the requested documents are relevant and material to the impeachment proceeding, I so move that subpoena duces tecum be issued pursuant to the letter dated March 5, 2026. So move, Madam Chair.
There is a motion to issue subpoena duces tecum to the NBI with respect to the records of its investigation into the threats made by Vice President Sara Z. Duterte against President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., First Lady Marie Luis Lisa Araneta, and former Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, as well as the certified copies, true copies of all documents and photographs gathered in the course of the above-mentioned investigation. Similar motion is made with respect to the certified true copies of the Statement of Assets and Liabilities and Net Worth,
Nako, yun
that
na.
is SALN, of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte for the year 2022 to 2025 inclusive, 2007 to 2013 inclusive, and 2016 to 2022 inclusive. The second motion is directed to the Ombudsman. May I hear the confirmation of the Honorable Chua? For the SALN.
Yes, Your Honor.
The second subpoena is directed to the Ombudsman, that is with respect to the SALN of the Vice President. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any
Nako, yun na.
objection?
Oh, yun na.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Rodriguez.
we cannot
Are you objecting?
manifestation first before I would make my. We cannot have two motions being proposed at the same time. Practically, there should be two motions. The first motion are the NBI findings. The second is the SALN. We should go one by one, Madam Chair,
Yeah.
because I am going to agree to vote yes to the first one. The second one, it is a fishing expedition.
Nako.
It is not. There are no ultimate facts for the SALN of the Vice President. So I will vote no. I will object to the second one. The first one goes, Madam Chair.
May
So
we
should
hear
try-
from the...
we should have two motions instead of only one. Two subject matters. Under our rules, in the rules of court, motions should only be on one subject matter.
May we hear from our proponent? The Honorable Rodriguez is suggesting that there should be one motion per subpoena.
Yes, I move that we vote
Would you
on,
like to amend your
yes,
motion?
I will amend my motion with respect to the. I move that we issue subpoena duces tecum to the issued for the duly certified copies of all the records of the NBI's investigation into the threat made by the Vice President Sara
Yeah.
Duterte against President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, and certified true copies of all documents and photographs gathered in the course of the above-mentioned investigation. And so move, Madam Chair.
There is a motion to issue a subpoena to the National Bureau of Investigation with respect to the records of investigation of threats made by the Vice President, to the President, to First Lady, and to the former Speaker. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any
Wala namang
objection?
problema yan eh. Wala namang problema. Ngayon, ang NBI, titignan natin kung ano yung findings nila. Kasi hindi linabas eh. Yung ginawa nilang investigasyon, kaugnay doon sa mga pronouncement ni VP Sara na kung sakaling may mangyari sa akin, ikaw, nag-hire na ako para itablak. Ito ba kayo? Diba? Oh, buhay pa naman sila eh. Anong problema? Wag lang nilang galawin itong si VP Sara dahil yung hinire niya, anak ng tao ka, ano yun, ala John Wick yun. Kahit isang batalyon ang ipadala nyo doon, nakatayot na hindi tutumba yun. Kaya yung kinatatakutan nila baka bigla may mangyari kay VP Sara, hindi naman sila may may kalalagyan yung mga luwalagyan. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, para dito kay Marcos Jr., pagtanggol nyo si VP Sara, protektahan nyo. Yung behind the scene, meron kayong ipapadalang puprotekta sa kanya. Yung confidential fund ng Marcos Jr., ilaan mo lahat para sa proteksyon ni VP Sara dahil pag kami nangyari dyan, anak ng tokwa, hindi ka na makakapagpulburon ulit.
Objection. Hearing none, the motion is approved.
O yan, next motion.
The committee secretary is directed to issue the necessary subpoena. The Honorable Chua.
Madam Chair, with respect to the second subpoena, I move that we issue subpoena duces tecum to the Office of the Ombudsman for the issuance of the duly certified true copies of the Statement of Assets and Liabilities and Net Worths of the Vice President
Yan talaga ang fishing expedition. Yan ho talaga, literal na fishing expedition.
Sara Zimmerman Duterte for the years 2022 to 2025 inclusive, 2007 to 2013 inclusive, and 2016 to 2022 inclusive. So move, Madam Chair.
There is a motion for issuance of subpoena to the Ombudsman with respect to the salary of the Vice President from 2022 to 2025, 2007 to 2013, 2016 to 2022. The same has been seconded. Is there any objection?
Madam Chair,
Is that an objection,
I
Honorable
object.
Rodriguez?
I object. This
Yes.
is now a clear fishing expedition
Nako.
against the Vice President. Thank you.
Considering that the motion has been objected to, we shall proceed to divide the House.
O, divide nyo na yung house.
Justice members, please be ready to vote. Those who are in favor of the motion for issuance of subpoena to the Ombudsman for the production of SALNs from 2022 to 2025, 2007 to 2013, and 2016 to 2022. Please raise your right hand.
Di ba? Simple lang ho yan eh. Kung merong ebidensya, hindi na ho kailangan niya ang ano na yan, niya ang salin na yan, di ba? Hindi na ho kailangan na salin. Kung talagang mabigat ang ebidensya kay VP Sara, hindi nyo na kailangang magsubpina pa. Ilatag nyo dyan sa committee na yan, kaso ang problema, walang ebidensya. Kailangan ng salin ni VP Sara para ika nga kahit na walang problema yung salin, yung makapagpalipad lamang sila ng ika nga paninira kay VP Sara. 80 million, hindi nagtutugma, ganito ganyan. Hoy, abogado yan. Mayaman ang asawa niyan. Merong hanap buhay yan. Hindi naman nakakasa sa politika yan. Hoy, Joel Chua, Gigi Suarez, hindi nyo naman kagaya yan. Na ika nga politika talaga ang numero uno, di ba? Oh. Hindi pumasok sa politika yan, hindi para yumaman, hindi para magkamal ng sandamukal na maleta at envelope. Nagbilangan pa no? Against. In favor yan eh. Paano pa dadalo dyan si VP Sara? Anak ng toko, karamihan sa mga yan, hindi karamihan, lahat ng bumoto na yan gusto ma-impeach si VP Sara. Siguro, malamang sa malamang, tumanggap din ho sila ng maleta o di naman kaya envelope.
You may now put down your hands. Those who are not in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand.
Saludo kay
You may
Congressman
put down your hand, Honorable Rodriguez. Those who abstain, please raise your right hand. That concludes the voting. Secretariat, the result, please.
Ano ang result?
With 34 votes in the affirmative, 1 vote in the negative, and 0 abstention, the motion is granted. The committee is directed to issue subpoena duces tecum to the Ombudsman for the production of the SALN of the Vice President corresponding to the period.
Delikado ho yan mga kababayan, sa totoo lang. Yang salin na yan, kung ganun pala, inahanap nila salin ni VP Sara, so pwede na natin tanungin ang salin ng bawat isa na yan. Dahil pwede ho tayong magpalipad ng kung ano pa mga espekulasyon sa kanilang yaman, paano nila nakakamtan to, bakit biglang lumobo ang kanilang mga network, di ba? So pwede na tayo mag-request sa ombudsman. Hindi ho ganun yun. Hindi pwedeng ganun-ganun na lamang, di ba? Hindi to pinag-uusapan natin maleta, envelope na di umano naglalaman ng pera.
of 2022 to 2025, 2007 to 2013, and 2016 to 2022. So ordered. The committee is likewise in receipt of the manifestation from the Honorable Congresswoman Laila De Lima. May we hear from the Honorable De Lima.
Ayun na nga mga kababayan, dito na ho ba tatapusin ang ating reaction video kaugnay dyan sa kawalang yaan na naman na ginagawa nila na yan dyan sa House of Representatives. Sunod natin pagkatapos nito yung press con ng legal team nitong si Vice President Sara Duterte. So always maraming salamat po sa pag-support sa PH Update. Mag-ingat po kayo lahat. Mahal natin Pilipinas.